family-owned shop in Loganville, Solis's Garage for all your automotive repair needs. We service all makes and models, foreign and domestic. We repair engines, alternators, brakes, alignments, AC systems, and more, using certified technicians with over 90 years of combined experience. We also offer same-day service for some repairs. Solis's Garage, 200 Bay Creek Road in Loganville. Dependable, honest, and fair. Look us up on Google or Facebook. We'll take good care of you.
Broadcasting live from the Subaru of Gwinnett studio inside the Sonesta Gwinnett Place Atlanta Hotel. It's time for Case in Point, presented by Paradigm Security Services. We are the cornerstone of security in the Southeast.
Hey everybody, welcome to Case in Point. I'm your host, Rick Strawn, President of Paradigm Security Services, and we are excited to be with you again on Business RadioX. We're coming to you from the Subaru of Gwinnett studio, located in the beautiful Sonesta Gwinnett Place Atlanta Hotel in Duluth, Georgia. Please hit that subscribe button on whatever you're listening to so you'll let me know that you're here and make us look good. Each week we plan to feature businesses and people in the Atlanta area, especially those that serve Gwinnett County. While all businesses have security concerns, not all are about physical security. Although we're going to be touching on that, especially as well as related aspects of security through the course of each show. Our guest today, I'm glad to have back with me, Mr. Lou Solis. He's the Chief Deputy of Gwinnett County Sheriff's Department. How are you doing?
Pretty good, thank you.
Yeah, you're kind of a busy guy today, today and about any time right now, aren't you?
It's pretty busy.
Well, listen, you've been here before, and I know a lot of people do know who you are, but I think there's a lot of people that don't. So just to real briefly, tell me who you are and your background a little bit. Lou is a candidate for the Sheriff of Gwinnett County.
So my name's Luis Solis. I grew up in Brownsville, Texas.
Texas.
Yeah, Texas boy. And then my grandparents are from Mexico, so my family's from Mexico. So I grew up in Brownsville, and in the summer times we spent it in a place called Bustamante. It's north of Monterrey. So after that, I joined the military, and while in the military, I also attended college. I got lucky. I was one of those guys. But I got out, and then went to Marietta Police. After Marietta Police, I did some other stuff, and then after that, I went to Brownsville as the Assistant Police Chief, and then I got recruited to come to the Gwinnett County Sheriff's Office.
Well, I know you've been through the FBI Academy and a few other things, and a lot of accolades on that, because that's not an easy place to go through.
Been to a lot of schools. I had to catch up, and I got lucky. There's only 1% that gets selected to go to the FBI National Academy, and I got lucky, and I got selected, and I went. Also went to Israel with a ghillie trip.
That would have to be fantastic.
Oh, that was really good. Great. There was 15 police officers that got selected. I was one of them. We got to go. You learn about community policing. Really.
What real community policing is.
Oh yeah, the community policing over there is for
totally
real.
Different.
Yeah, it is.
Oh well, this race is an important race. Really, as all races are right now. But I think with the position of the sheriff of any county, which is really one of the most powerful people in any county when you really look at it, it's kind of a different animal. What sets you apart from your opponent?
Well,
not negatively, just
yeah. And I saw him yesterday, and one of the things I said yesterday was, hey, at the end of the day, whoever wins is the sheriff. It's going to be the voters, but my thing is, 2009 is when he retired. I was still in the military, but one of the things is, I'm sorry, I was still in the police department, and I've been in the police, and then I went over when I transitioned over to the sheriff's office. I've done that, and he hasn't been in the sheriff's office, and there's a lot of things that I've learned since I've been there over 3 years of as far as the sheriff's office goes.
Been a lot of changes too.
There has been a lot of changes. I think my boss let me put some programs in place, and I think we have a lot of programs right now that are helping the residents that we have in there go back into society.
Well, and we're going to talk about GRIP and a few other programs in just a minute. I think one of the most important issues, most misrepresented issues out there with regards to Gwinnett County is 287G. There's been a lot of misinformation, a lot of disinformation, and not enough information that's been put out there on the airwaves, on flyers, on everything else. It's just a lot of people don't really understand what it is and what the benefits are to the county and to the people. Can you kind of go through that and get the true story of what it's all about? Your Hispanic background, and so you're going to put it out there. Yeah.
So in 2010 is when the sheriff brought it in to the jail, and I will tell you that President Obama is the one that brought out the program, and the sheriff ran with it, and it helped save a lot of money for the citizens of Gwinnett County. Because when the sheriff found out how many people were in there, we got, I think the first day was 800 people, over 800. And the one thing is, when you do that, multiplied how much it is per day to house one of the residents in there, it's a lot of money. So a lot of money we got saved from 2010 till now.
Yeah.
And so the 287G program, it's a tool that we use to murder suspects, the guys that are robbing all the people, their own people, and also the rapists, sexual assault cases. You have, and I'll talk about the Hispanic family, but you got the Hispanic family, they 2 to 3 families live in one household, and they're paying cash. So there's a lot of domestics in there, a lot of sexual assaults. We just had one the other day. Matter of fact, 2 days ago, we just had a case like that. So those are the things that we're trying. That program right there, that tool, it helps us get those guys into jail. They do their time, and then the ICE picks them up, and then they get shipped back. But as far as the one that's really, the one that's really, I guess the only way to say it is, a lot of people are pushing the agenda that, you don't have a license and they're going to deport you. That's
totally false.
That narrative right there, it's a lie. Yeah. And I will tell you that, and the guy that can back me up is, who was it? Tony Thomas. He was there in the jail right there one day when we were talking about it, and I just happened to point to that guy. Hey, why are you here? No license. I said, okay. Hey, what's happening with you? Hey, I'm getting ready to leave. Yeah. So the guy, if he doesn't have a criminal record, and he doesn't, he got arrested for the no license, and what ends up happening is we process that guy out, and we just, they take his fingerprints, make sure he's not wanted anywhere else for something else. He's got a good background. What they do is they release him, and when they release him on a signature bond, which means he signs his name and gets a court date and leaves. He doesn't pay.
It doesn't get any less oppressive than signing a signature bond.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, a lot of people think that they're going to pay all this money. No, and here's the thing about the license. I'm a constitutional officer. My job is to make sure that all the laws are followed, whether I like them or don't like them. We're supposed to follow the law, and we don't make the laws. That law was made here in Georgia, and as far as the no license, and that goes for everybody in the county, or in the state, I'm sorry. Yeah. And they don't have a license, you go to jail. So it's an arrestable offense.
Yep. And we used to call it's a bondable offense, what gets me is the signature bond is saying, I promise.
Right, absolutely.
That's really all it is. So it's not something, and that's why I say it's been so misrepresented. It's out to get rid of the violent offenders, get them out of our country, make our county safe in this case.
It's the violent offenders that we're after. That program helps us catch those guys and identify those guys. I think 2 months ago we had 3 guys, and it was in the news. We had 3 18-year-old guys from El Salvador stabbed a 17-year-old to death, and they were illegal aliens. And they're murders.
Yeah, what do you want them to just stay in the county?
Yeah, and that's the thing. We don't want those guys in the county. We want those guys, those type of people in the county. And I think this program here helps us to identify that.
Well, a lot of people just, if they could understand, it's nothing but a tool, and you put it the right way. It's not great big social action. It's a tool that law enforcement has been given, with regards to a lot of tools that we're given that help us make our county nation safe.
Well, and the other thing too is they say, well, we spent $2 million on the program. We don't get anything from the government. The $2 million that we pay, and it's a salary. So if you got rid of 287G, that $2 million will still be there because those people are still there.
Yeah, they're still salaried people.
Yeah, they're still getting paid. So one of the things is, we try to make sure that the people that are going back are the most violent criminals and get those people out of Gwinnett. And here's the thing. A lot of people say, they're all from Mexico. No, they're not. I've given tours there to a lot of different people. As a matter of fact, a lot of come in there, radio stations, TV producers, and I take them to that room and I show them the map. And it's like, hey, they're not all from Mexico. Absolutely. I mean, you got almost, here in Gwinnett, you almost have up to 70 different countries in here.
Yeah, being the mosaic, so to speak, of the state and everything, and one of the mosaics of the nation, we have such a diverse population that you're going to have something from every population group that there is. And not all of them come in here legally, but not all of them are violent.
And there's some great people out there. When I go to the supermercados, when I go talk to Hispanic people, one of the biggest things is I tell them, it's like, hey, look, and I explain the 287G program to them. And I explain about the no license. And the guy standing right there saying, hey, man, so you're going to arrest me? I had no license? I'm like, dude, I'm not looking for the no license.
You're not driving.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not coming up to you asking for your ID or anything like that. We have a lot of great people out there that do a lot of great things for Gwinnett County.
Yes, we do.
And the only thing we're trying to do is protect those people, the illegals from the illegals. That's what we're trying to do.
Well, and they prey on each other, and that's the unfortunate thing. As much
because
as
they know that
anybody
they can't get a checking account or a bank account.
They're not going to call the police and report it because they feel scared to do so.
Well, and I will tell you that's changing, and the reason that's changing for us is because we're getting out there to try to do more face-to-face time with the people, and like you say they don't report it, but last week that sexual assault was reported. Mm-hmm. Hey, man, they this is what happened, and they ended up arresting the guy.
Well, it all boils down to one of the most important things in police work or any other business is communication.
Absolutely,
getting the word out to the people that don't be afraid. I know in 2019 you saved Gwinnett County $6.8 million is what I hear. How did you do that?
So a lot of it, a lot of it is also payroll too. We stopped the mandatory overtime. One of the things was get rid of the mandatory overtime, where we can we're lucky. We still have a lot of people that want to come be in law enforcement, especially the sheriff's office. So we get a lot of people that apply. So we have enough people that we don't have to work the overtime, and that's in different areas. But we also save some money as far as, okay, we didn't need this type of equipment today, this year, or we didn't need to pay for this, a couple of things here and there. But we gave $6.8 million back to the Gwinnett County General Fund. Now, what they did with that 6.8, couldn't tell you.
Nobody's idea from your end of it, was it?
Yeah, I don't know, but I mean, I'm a taxpayer, and I'd like to know.
Yeah, well, I know I'd like to have that ability right now to decrease that overtime in my business. It's that's something that in a private business kills you. In a public business, it kills you just as well, because it takes money that you need other places.
I've been here in Gwinnett County for over 21 years, and one of the things is, I'm a taxpayer. I pay school tax. I paid the tax, and one of the things is, to save money, it's awesome. To get people in that way with all these programs, we're getting people out, so it saves us money.
Well, and we all know it's about saving money because there's a lot of it neat going around. You've expanded the Sheriff's Department or the Office of Mental Health program. Tell us about that program, because I'm familiar with it, but I want you to kind of tell the listeners.
Yeah, so that's one of the programs that we added, mental health. We do have a mental health pod, but what we've done is we've actually brought in some more mental health people to work. I hired a guy that, a young guy, and he's got a master's in mental health. We just got a brand new, we had a doctor and a lot of good nurses that are in the mental health. And I've also brought in Dr. Tatum. Dr. Tatum is from the outside. He comes in, and instead of the mandatory 1 to 2 hour classes, Dr. Tatum comes in and makes sure that, hey, look, this is what you need to look for in the mental health as far as the signs of mental health. He's teaching the deputies. He's teaching the chain of command, hey, look, this is what we need to look for. So those are the things that we've done on the mental health, as far as, Dr. Tatum's, hey, this is how you de-escalate this kind of person. This is how you, the other day we had a Zoom and somebody came in there and said, hey, look, I can tell you about, there's people out there that, and I for the life of me, I can't remember it right now, but it's they seem like they're drunk, but they're not drunk. And the actor comes to me here in a minute, and we want to get
vertigo.
No, it's something else. But we want to get that woman is going to come into the. I've offered. We're going to get a hold of her. I got with my grip guys. Hey, get a hold of her, invite her over so she can teach us that part. But Dr. Tatum is making sure that hey, what's the de-escalation? What's the mental health part of what we're trying to do. So those are the things that we're trying to make sure that. And the diversity. He's bringing all those points up for us.
Well, de-escalation is one of the issues we're keying on as a private organization, and it's been in the news a lot lately about learning how to de-escalate. And I know Gwinnett County's been teaching de-escalation for a long time, and it's good to see that going on. We've mentioned GRIP twice. So I think we ought to talk a little bit about it. I know you've got an awesome guy in charge of it, Jacob Barrett. But tell us about GRIP and some of the surrounding, how it works. I know it's kind of the core.
Yeah, so the sheriff brought GRIP in, and when he brought GRIP in, it's the Gwinnett Reentry Intervention Program. And the sheriff brought it in, and now GRIP is the nucleus of all the programs that we have in there, from the barracks to the rehabilitation, to mental health, the women that go out to the and do the as far as the farming, and they also they're growing the vegetables. Mm-hmm. It's the garden program. We also have the dog program that's in there. But GRIP is the nucleus of everything. And what GRIP does is, like, I had a guy today come up to me and says, "Hey man, I'm getting out Friday. I need some help." And okay, we're going to set you up with GRIP. And what do you need? Well, I need a place to stay. So what GRIP does is we try to get the guy. We can go up to a week. It just depends. But what we do is we try to get that guy some housing, and then we try to make sure that he goes to these appointments to make sure that he can get set up.
What's that transition? You're giving them some transition out of that. And one thing I've noticed about Gwinnett, we talked about earlier, is Gwinnett has. You hear a lot about rehabilitation, but most jails, it's not another jail, most jails look at just, let's get them in here, we'll punish them, we'll get through with that, and we'll get them out of here, just let's get done with this, you've done your time, go. And they put them back out there, and a lot of them within a week or even 30 days or whatever, right back in there. But you all go a whole lot farther toward the idea of actual rehab.
And that's the good thing about Sergeant Baird. Sergeant Baird and his team, they focus on the recidivism. It's like, hey, we don't want these guys to come back in. So and at one point, a few years, it was at 30. It started growing. It was 30%, and Baird, Sergeant Baird has got it close. Jacob's got it close to almost 50%, where the recidivism it's awesome. And we're trying to help these guys get out. But and we tell them, hey, listen, just because you're out doesn't mean you can't call us for help, because we don't want you to come back. That's a lot of money when we bring you back, and that's the one thing that we don't want to do. So we tell them, hey, man, especially the rehabilitation program, the drugs, the drug court, for them is, hey, how do we help these guys out? So when they get out, hey, man, what do you need so that we can help you so you're not getting hooked back on drugs? So.
We all work in conjunction with so many things. You got the military court, you got veterans court. You got so many things in Gwinnett County that work in partnership with the sheriff's department. That it's amazing
So the sheriff's office we work hand in hand with the judges. On Monday, they just had a graduation at vet court. We were called, hey, come on over for the graduation, and then we get the guests. We get those guys that graduated. They become guest speakers. Come over here. As a matter of fact, this is a pilot program. It just started. I'm playing with it right now. But in the barracks, and those are the veterans, in the barracks, what we've done in the barracks, I brought 10, 17 to 18-year-old residents, and I put them in the barracks with the guys. And our goal is just to have them mentor them instead of us. Let's see what they can do. And they're talking to these young guys. And when I went in there, I mean, this thing's only like, I don't know, 3 weeks, maybe 3 weeks old, maybe going on a month. But here I got these guys, and I went in there today, and I mean, if they would have told you they were in the military,
you'd believed it.
You'd believed it. and speaking of that, we have the DA's office who has heard about that, and they said, hey, if you get these guys, the recruiters, to come in and talk to them, and let's see what we can do with their charges, and if they want to go into the military, we'll let them go into the military. So that's pretty cool. I mean, and I think we talked about it earlier where you said it's like, hey, here's, in the military, we teach structure. We teach, hey, man, there's a chain of command. We have rules. And these guys, you look at these guys right now, they're totally different than when they got in there.
Well, they're learning that, just because it's a rule doesn't mean it's necessarily oppressive. You can follow the rules and actually get along with folks and pull yourself up in life rather than just getting beat back down. You brought up a couple of times barracks. A lot of people don't know what the barracks are. Tell us about the barracks.
So instead of calling it a pod, what I did was I renamed that pod, and we call it the barracks. So you have the Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marines in there, and then the Coast Guard guys. But we bring all the veterans in there, and it's a different. That is the only pod right now that is totally different. And what I mean by that is, that there's a deputy in there, but it's not, we usually, the thing that we do is the deputies are in charge of all the pods. And so the thing that we do on this one is we have these guys in charge. There's a military structure in there. There's a chain of command in there. And the deputies are in there. They're part of the chain of command, but these guys run it, and they're the ones that, the direct supervision is great throughout the jail, but in this one I wanted to, hey, you did it, you own it, now let's make up for it. At one time, and I think the PIO said it great, at one time these guys, hey man, they did something right. They were going down, like I think one of the songs is "Down the Avenue," but they're going down the avenue the right way, and all of a sudden they veered off. So now what we're trying to do is we're trying to get them back on that path. And hey, man, this is what you need to do.
Get them in the right lane of the path.
Yeah, well, that's what we'd like to do.
Well, and that barracks thing it's really working. It's a great idea that y'all came up with, and I love this mentorship program.
Well, and the barracks thing, I tell you that we brought some people in, businesses. But I tell you the one guy, and Ernie Lopez, great guy, owns Atlanta Concrete, comes in there, and his dad was in the military, and he comes in there and says, "Hey, listen, he's got 5 companies, and I'm telling you guys right now, you want a job. When you get out, you come see me. You're getting a job." And that's what he said. And no ands, if, or buts. He goes, "You've already done your time. Now I'm going to give you a job." I thought that's pretty cool.
People need a second chance, a real second chance, not just a bunch of lip service. And I guess let's move to a big issue nowadays is COVID-19. And, well, it's not as big as it was, but everybody's still making it big, so let's talk about it. It seems to be dying down a little bit. How do you go about keeping it from having any kind of an outbreak in the jail? You've got a population in there. Social distancing is not going to happen in a jail. They'll get together and social distance in the hope sometimes of getting COVID-19 and getting out. So how do you deal with that?
So the most dangerous thing about COVID-19 for the jail is you and I going into that jail. The guys that are in there right now, they're hunkered down, they're protected. The thing that we got to monitor is the people going in and out, and that's what we're monitoring from day one. We've worked with the health department. We worked with the Gwinnett Medical Center. We've worked with every Wednesday. As a matter of fact, today they're going to actually have if we have a White House brief. In the White House brief, they're bringing on the people, the doctors or whoever's going to talk about the COVID or what's the changes today, and they come in there and they in turn they have the CDC people in there as well. So we have the White House brief. We listen to the CDC. We go with our community or our health department. But the thing about the COVID down there is, if you went into my office and you saw that wall, everything's written on there about COVID. I mean, everything that we thought, hey man, let's do this, and every day, okay, hey, there's something different. Put that on there. So we've learned every single day of how to protect the people that are in there, and that's one of the things that we've been trying to do from day one, and I think we've been doing a great job at it. I mean, thank God, knock on wood, we haven't lost anybody from COVID, especially our people as well. But we also had to handle it not only in the jail, but we're also trying to protect the people at the courthouse when they're coming into the courthouse. So we do monitor we do some spot checking to make sure, hey, what's the temperature? How are we doing? How's the guy doing? But we have some smart people in there. We have a great staff in there. And if you come in on Monday, okay, here's the Monday guys. Here's the Tuesday people. Here's the Wednesday people. So when you let them out, those are the Monday people just walking around, so they don't contaminate the Tuesday guys. And then once they're in there for like the 14 days or past that, then we start moving them around.
Interesting approach.
It's pretty it's pretty tough.
I bet it is. You mentioned something that a lot of people don't really realize. The Sheriff's Department is not just the jail. The Sheriff's Department handles the Gwinnett County court system.
Right. So we have, everyone calls it GJAC, the Gwinnett Justice Administration Center. We protect all the people that come in there to have to go to court. We also protect the people that have to do jury trials or jury duty. We protect the judges and the workers that are in there. So not only from physical harm, but also from the COVID harm. So we try to do that. And across the street, we have the annex building, which is the juveniles, and that's a juvenile court. And the same thing that happens in GJAC, we do it at the annex. But we also have the warrants. In Gwinnett County, we have over 50,000 active warrants right now. So we have the warrant guys going out. We have our fugitive task force. Matter of fact, last week we caught the fugitive guys caught 3 murder suspects in 11 hours.
Wow.
I thought that was awesome. I mean, 3 murder suspects off the street in 11 hours. A lot of people don't know that when the Wendy's burned down in Atlanta, our fugitive guys are the ones that caught the female that burnt down allegedly burnt out the
allegedly.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize. They think they see a sheriff's like they don't do anything as the thought process, or they're just jail people, or they're out looking for people to write tickets to, and they don't really realize that the sheriff's job is not to be out there riding around doing patrols looking for people to write tickets to. That's the police department.
Right, and that's the difference between the Gwinnett PD, which, by the way, Gwinnett PD and the sheriff's office, we have a great relationship. They have some great people on the road.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they got their chain of command is awesome to work with. But I would tell you that the one thing that we offer as a sheriff's office is the sheriff makes sure that any city in Gwinnett County that needs any help, they call us. We just had the major derailment in Lilburn.
Yep, that was a biggie.
Yeah, the first guy that was out there was a Lilburn canine officer, which, by the way, I don't know if you know, he saved the conductor and the engineer. And then right after that was the sheriff's office. I mean, our guys were there at 3:30 in the morning, and they're still there. So.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's all about warrants, about courts, it's about the jail. There's so much that the sheriff's department is responsible for and accountable for.
And one last thing on that one, just so everybody knows that just because we go out to Lilburn and we're out there from 3:30 in the morning, we're doing all this overtime on Sunday, we get our money back from CSX. So the county pays nothing for that incident.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that when you have a major
Yeah, the company picks up the
like
tab
that.
on the
Absolutely.
overtime and everything else.
And what happens is the insurance company from the company is the one paying them, so they just pass it along.
Yeah,
It all works out
as
great.
long as we get our money right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We talked about COVID-19. We talked about that. What have you actually learned as you've gone through this campaign? What have you learned on the trail?
Yeah.
Where do you begin?
No, you want to know who hates you? Run for office.
Yeah, no, that's right.
No, and I would tell you that this is the first time I've actually run for an actual official job. I mean, I was the president of my police class, but I would tell you it's nothing.
It wasn't like this, was it?
It's nothing like this. But I would tell you that you get to meet tons of people. And you get to all different walks of life. Every organization that's out there, you meet everybody, and they're telling you, hey, and the cool part is, they're telling you stuff that, okay, hey, that's where you're doing the interaction with all the community. I mean, you're going out to, I've been to a lot of supermercados. I've been to a lot of barbecues. I've been to a lot of.
I thought you'd put on a little bit of weight there.
No, I haven't put on weight.
You've been running too much.
No, the thing I go to the gym every morning, but the thing you do is you just take a little bite and then move out. But the thing is, we get to see a lot of people, and we get to talk to a lot of people, and that's the good thing too is you have some great people. My campaign manager, great lady. She's run for office herself. She goes out there and tells, hey, we got to do this, and then you got your advisors, and then you get. But I will tell you, one thing that this campaign, the only sad part about this whole campaign thing is, you spend less time with your family. And I get home and I feel bad because my wife and I, we see each other for like an hour, and when this thing's over, I got to make up for all those lost hours. And
some people consider that good.
No.
My wife would.
No, my wife and I, we've been married 32 years, and
me too.
And I would tell you that she's a great lady, and she's a doctor at the CDC, but she's a great lady, and one of the things, that's probably one of the things I learned on the campaign trail. It just takes away from your private life.
Well, it takes away so much, but it also can give so much, because I know that your heart is totally into your job and your position and the people of Gwinnett County.
Well, my guy, and we have a lot of great people that have volunteered to say, hey, I'm gonna help your phone banking. I'm gonna help put out the signs. I'm gonna help, and by the way, there's a few of these signs are disappearing. I don't think it's the wind, but my thing is, we have a lot of great people that are helping out, and that makes it a lot better. So.
Well, if we can just keep everything running down the straight and narrow and honest path, we'll be doing well in this election. That'll be for sure. Well, listen, if there's anybody who wants to help you win this election, how do they get told? What do they have to do? How do they get in touch with you? What do they, how do they do it?
Well, you got Lou Solis for Sheriff. That's the Facebook page, and my web page is Solis for Sheriff. .com. But I will tell you that my biggest thing is, we have a lot of volunteers that want to help out, and I will tell you, just put on the web page. There's a volunteer page for us as well, but get on our page and shoot us a message. You want to help out? Come on, and help out. That's that. But I will tell you that I just need, at the end of the day, we need the people, the voters, to come out and vote, and that's what it's going to take. And this election here, that's what it's going to be. It's going to be which side come, and I've been saying that all along. Which side comes out to vote is going to be the team that wins. Well,
I am 100% in favor of people getting off their rears and getting out and voting, regardless of who you're going to vote for. But to me, the most important thing, and what I've tried to help with through this program and stuff, is people need to make an informed decision. Don't just go out there and vote because your mama voted this way, your daddy's voting this way, or your brother, your sister, or whatever. Go out there, do your research, listen to the people, but read what they do and find out more about them than just what somebody tells you.
And that's the thing.
And then go vote.
Yeah, and that's why I tell everybody. It's like, hey, look at my opponent and look at myself. This guy, he retired in 2009, and, I'm still working, and if I'm still working, I've learned this sheriff's office, and I will tell you, you just can't come in there and say, okay, what are we doing? That's one of the biggest things is, and let your people do the job. I mean, we have some great people that work there.
Well, there's been an amazing amount of change in 11 years.
There has been.
That. Well, I'm going to give a little shout out. Thank you so much, Lou, for coming on. I wish you a lot of luck in your race, and I know that you make a good sheriff when you're there.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
I'm going to give a little shout out. I got a text a little while ago, or a call a little while ago, that my granddaughter has now given birth to my first great-grandchild.
Congratulations.
Oh, all right. Listen to that. I'm not, she's 4 pounds, 13 ounces, born at, I love it. Mike comes to the rescue.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that's my daughter dealing with that, and my granddaughter, not me. But it's 4 pounds, 13 ounces, 17 inches long, little baby girl born at 4:07 this morning. They're still tossing around names, so I'm sure that'll happen real quick. Knowing my daughter, she's probably already done it, but she didn't get a chance to tell me because I was going on the air. But congratulations to Laura and Corey for their little one. And I just cannot believe I'm a great-grandfather. Gee, Merry Christmas. I think there's a mistake here. But anyway, thank you all for joining us on Case in Point, presented by Paradigm Security Services. And remember, you can join us live every Wednesday at 11:30 in the morning, or you can listen to our show anytime you want by going to businessradiox.com, clicking on the Gwinnett studio, and then click on, of course, Case in Point. Again, please hit that subscribe button so that I know you're there, we know you're there, and everybody else knows you're there. Join us next week at 11:30. We'll talk with business leaders about their businesses, related to security issues in today's world. Again, thanks to my guest, Chief Deputy Lou Solis. Now, you got your name confused a while ago. Now you followed up. Lou Solis. And for Mike and Amanda. And again, I'm Rick Strawn. And remember, at Paradigm Security Services, we cover more than just your assets.